How did you get into music, and what were your earlier experiences in Toronto like?
I'm first? Sure. Yo, how's everybody feeling today, first? I mean, for hip-hop, you need more noise. So, yeah, I do talk a lot, so I have to cut me off if necessary. How I got into music, I don't want to sound sort of cliche or even corny, but I feel like music got into me because someone said it like they knew I was going to say that. There are stories that go back as far, actually before my memory. You know, my parents told me stories about how I was like 1, 2, 3 years old in the backyard picking up the water hose, pretending it was a microphone and singing along to whatever music they were playing. Just felt like this is everything I've always ever wanted to do, be involved in. And for me, I can tell you it definitely solidified the fact that I just had to be an artist and was pretty much born to do it was Michael Jackson dropped an album you may have heard of called Thriller when I was 5 years old, and that was it for me, man. You know, I had to watch the video every time it came on and tell my babysitter to change over the scary parts came on, and put it back because he might be singing and dancing again. And that was my first Big People record. You know, like I had the storybooks and the little, you know, the records for kids, but that was my first Big People record. And I've since owned it on like 3 different pieces of vinyl, 2 cassettes, 3 CDs. And I think, to me, there's a lot of influence behind that record being my foray to getting into music because it's still my favorite album to this day, but also happens to be the best-selling album of all time. And I think there's an important message that I kind of took from that, is that I didn't just want to become a musician, but I wanted to be the best. I wanted to be Michael Jackson. So I knew that to reach the highest heights, I really had to put a lot into my craft and to be meticulous about my writing. And I mean, I started writing as a kid, not any song that I would particularly remember or share with you guys. Long before I started rapping, I would even draw album covers. And I can't draw to this day, but I would put in the barcode and the copyright information just because I studied what records looked like, and I'd make up a label name and song titles that didn't exist because, like I said, music got into me from when I was a baby. And Michael made me say, I gotta do this for the rest of my life.
Okay, thanks. Nice. I'll just reiterate the question again. So how did you get into music, and what were your early experiences in Toronto?
My earliest experiences, like the break dancers, they were getting all the girls. I tried to do a couple head spins, fell flat on my face. It wasn't a good look. But then I started working on my rhymes, and the girls started feeling me. The confidence started coming. I got better. I got better with the rhymes. The girls just giving me love ideas. I was feeling good. I got better, and the confidence started developing. And today's a very special day because I performed for the first time at my high school back in like '82, man. Senator O'Connor, you know, and a couple people, O'Connor, you know, a couple people was watching me, and after they saw me perform, you know, I gave me confidence, and this cat named Joey Lukachi was there, and he said, listen, man, there's a station called CKLN, 88.1, at Ryerson, man. There's a station called, there's a show called The Fantastic Voice Program. And then, you know, I went there, with, you know, when you're a little kid walking through Ryerson, it's like a little maze. And my heart was beating because, you know, I'm going to be on radio for the first time. So this dude by the name of Ron Nelson, he actually gave me a shot at it. And I just remember when I left, my name before was Maestro Fresh Wes, it was Melody MC. And I rhymed over this beat called Bounce Rock Skate Roll from Vaughn Mason. But I remember him leaving, and he said, yo, that's Melody Man. And damn, he's good. And that gave me the confidence at 15 years old to continue doing my thing. And it's just so funny. I said today's a special day because my high school, Senator O'Connor, where I performed for the first time, they're having their 50th anniversary tonight. Yeah. So I'm gonna put on the suit, not the tuxedo or nothing like that. But I'm gonna go back. I watch all the old break dancers who stopped break dancing back in the days, but we're gonna have fun. But that's how I started, and I just said to myself, you know, add on to what Daniel said, you know, if I could paraphrase when you talk about Michael Jackson, it wasn't really about making records, it's about making history. Because, you know, you say right now, Thriller is still the biggest album in the world, you know. We have an opportunity here as artists to say something within our music. And the fact that the panels are here right now, and I'm hearing how, you know, other people speak about me and people here, it's a beautiful thing. And quickly, I'm gonna wrap so quickly, there's 2 people on the panel to my left, you know, that did things before I did, and I just wanted everyone to look at this. I mean, Michie Mee was the first to come out making records, you know, on the US tip, right? It's #1, right? You mentioned that I do some acting and stuff like that. I just followed her footsteps because Michie was on Drop the Beat. So I started going to acting classes, you know? And that's why I studied what she was doing, you know? And then I wrote a book. My book is critically acclaimed. But who did I study from? Motion put her book out before, so I asked Motion for advice. How do you do a book? Understand what I'm saying? So these are two people who are my friends, you know, colleagues, but I look up to them. So when you talk about genre, that they spoke earlier in the other panel, you know, the women that run things, ladies first here in Toronto, so you know, enough respect.
Good afternoon. I guess, wow, I'm overwhelmed with all the information that I'm getting and that love. A lot of times we don't get the respect that we want and think that we appreciate, and that was really nice coming from Maestro to hear him speak about motion and I. Because when we started, there was limited females, and so funny, it was her and I looking at each other. When we started, we were like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What do you do? What kind of rap? And we would compare different things. Because here I was over at the CKLN team, and she was over at CIUT, and here was CHRY, and we all had these little areas of hip-hop, but we all were like from the camp, so to speak, and we were trying to be different yet be the same, but yet we had the common denominator of the Canadian stories that we wanted to tell internationally. And going to New York a lot, my family is from the Bronx, 223rd and Gun Hill Road, and Stardust was a hip-hop club with a lot of Zulu Nation, and people hung out. And my dad was a big promoter in Jamaica, an old promoter, and used to work with Motown a lot, so I was always going to stage shows. And before I came to Canada, I was at that Michael Jackson, Bob Marley on stage show. And we came here, so that was the last, my dad brought that show to Jamaica with a team of other people, and my aunt. So once that show hit, we thought it got me out of Jamaica. Jamaica was politically different. So my point to this is that I was very influenced by a stage aspect in terms of performance. So I always thought the stage is where I belong. Not knowing about the music side of it and how do you get the music, you have to go home and write it. So coming to Canada and flying to New York and still having that cultural Jamaican influence, I knew that I wanted to be a part of it. But Canada, everything was here in terms of rec centers that were, you know, people were it was very interactive. We had to go meet people because there was, you know, there was no social media. So we had to go to CKLN, we had to go to CHRY, we had to go down to the Eaton Center and kind of just meet everyone and compare dreams. So when everyone was trying to get into hip hop, whether they wanted to dance, do graffiti, a lot of people wanted to draw. A lot of people were into the fashion of it. I was a hustler, so I was selling MCM, just clothes and jingles and stuff and jewelry and stuff that were coming here, trying to get into the flea market. So I was selling the actual culture, and then I started to do the hip hop art of it and writing and stuff. So there's a lot of history here, and it's just nice to know that we can all come together and we have this here for you. So that's just, I'm gonna wrap it up. That's 3 minutes. All right.